So you're looking at the location module, and I want to introduce, first of all, multiple horizontal alignments and some changes we've made to our user interface for version 9. First thing to notice here is that we've got a brand new ribbon in our user interface at the top of the screen there. This is a new ribbon tab corridor, and we've moved some things from the home ribbon. Some of them are duplicates. So for example, assign by range is in the home ribbon. It's also in the corridor ribbon. And a few new items. For example, the Project Explorer. This is actually a replacement for the old alignments panel, and it's still available from the toolbar at the bottom of the screen and this button in the corridor ribbon. Click on that and it opens the panel. So parts of it you will recognize from the old alignments panel, which has been in the software since version 7. However, the big difference here is that we've moved much of the user interface that used to be on the top of the panel into this new corridor ribbon, and we've added horizontal alignments to this tree. So let's look at what we've got here. We've got multiple horizontal alignments on my screen, and you can see them there. You can switch back and forth to different alignments. You can switch alignments right here. Right click allows you to make the alignment current. This is the current one. Right click, make that one current. But before you switch alignments around, notice that you can view them just by clicking in the tree here. So this alignment 1A is actually a little bit short. It goes from here over to there. This alignment 1B is the same alignment but longer. It starts sooner and ends later. And here's alignment 2. Now alignment 2 is the current alignment, has a little checkbox in the tree interface, and it's also shown up here in the corridor ribbon. Alignment 2 v alignment 1, cost out of date. I need to recost if I want to see the numbers down here, bottom of the screen. When I select a different alignment, those don't change. That's still the current alignment. So the corridor still shows you what the current alignment is. And if you were looking at something like a profile and a mass haul, you would see, okay, now notice it says not currently selected there. Let's just update the recost. I can do that from the tab, and that will recost the or from the tree I can recost. But we've changed the way the recalculate range button works, and you can actually not only recalculate the current alignment and recost it, but you can do them all at once. So there, I'm going to recost and recalculate all the alignments, and then my Opti-Haul window will be up to date. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so what am I looking at here? I'm looking at a profile, an Opti-Haul, and a mass haul, but they are for the current alignment. Alignment number 2, vertical alignment number 1, and you can tell that this is not the alignment I've selected because they're faded, color is faded, and it says not currently selected here. Because it's kind of easy to click on an alignment and think, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking at. But in fact, it's true in the plan window. That's obvious, that's the one I'm looking at. And that changes when I click on it. But in other windows, you want to be a little bit careful to make sure that you're looking at the current alignment, because that's the one that's visible. Now we added this very bold selection indicator in the profile and the plan. And that is always visible if you have an alignment selected in the tree here, and it disappears if you don't select it in the tree or if you just close the Project Explorer. So yeah, when you're actually editing the profile, you probably don't want to see that bold alignment. Although it does work, you can still edit. It's still available for edit. let's take a look at this corridor ribbon and see what's in there. So I mentioned already that the current alignment, the current vertical and horizontal alignment is in there. If something is out of date, let's say, for example, I delete this curve, okay? It comes cost out of date. So, and that's also shown here, and it's also shown up here in the Project Explorer. So it's just reminding you that if you're looking at these numbers here, they're out of date, and you can update them with the Calculate Range button. Okay, now everything's back up to date. Assign by range, that's the same thing you've seen in the Home ribbon. It's still there. Properties. Dialog box here, which allows you to change which terrains are used for topo and a few other things. That used to be in the Home ribbon, select Setup ribbon, Location Setup, Alignment. So that's the same dialog box. And we just put it for convenience in here as well. Delete range, you've probably seen that one before. That's just moved into here. Operations, a few things that you may have found in other ribbons are now here, like for example, section balance, which I'm going to talk about later. Recalculate range, you've mentioned that, has the ability to do all the alignments, not just the current one. And you can select which alignments you want to calculate if you want. This allows me to add new vertical and horizontal alignments. I'm going to cover that in a sec. And the Project Explorer, if this doesn't happen to be visible, Project Explorer can be recreated from this button. And here's where we can go into vertical alignment options, vertical optimization, horizontal alignment options, and optimization. So this is new in version 9, horizontal optimization. Not going to cover that here, but you might want to play around with that. You will need the Softree Optimal license to do either vertical optimization or horizontal optimization. I'm going to open a design that has just one alignment in it and go through the process of adding a couple of horizontal alignments. Okay, so here's an alignment. It's kind of an interesting example. I put this together to show the difference. We'll come back to this also, of the OptiHall diagram for two different kinds of optimization. But plan window, we've just got the one alignment in here. So I can add a new horizontal alignment. Just click on the Add button here, or right-click, New Horizontal Alignment, opens this dialog box, and I can add a new alignment. So let's call it Route 2, and click on the OK button. This opens the same dialog box you get when you create a brand new location design, and we can choose to either draw our alignment or import it from an alignment. I'm going to import it from LandXML. That'll go a lot faster than drawing it. So there's my XML alignment. So again, this is exported from, happens to be exported from our software, but it could have been exported from AutoCAD or some other some other application, because this is a standard format, LandXML, shared format. When you create a new alignment, often it's nice to have no template if you're creating a ditch alignment or something. I'll show you that in a little while, but in this case I want to put a cross section on it. I just created it, so it's selected as the current alignment. If I want to switch back to my other alignment, I can either go in here and set current, or there's a little menu item down here to switch alignment. You've only got two, it just switches. If you got three, it goes through them in order. Go through that one more time. So, new alignment. give it a name. Do I want to draw it this time? Nah, I'm going to do land XML again. Now I've got 3 alignments in here, and this is the file essentially I was showing you a minute ago, and you can easily see where they are just by selecting in the tree. So that one is shorter than that one. You can shift these things up and down if you want to change their order. You can rename them. And I think that's pretty much what I wanted to show you here. Oh, comparison, right. So these 2 roads go basically to the same spot, this one and this one. And it would be interesting to compare their costs. So what I'll do is I will, well, one of them's already selected. This one is the current one. And down here I can say compare with current. And I need to recalculate, so let's just do that. Oops, I didn't do them all. This is something we're still working on. The percent difference is disabled because they have different lengths. Well, I want to see the percent difference anyway, so we're gonna fix that. But meanwhile, it's not hard to work out the percentage difference. They're very similar costs, but yeah, the selected one is shown here, and the current one with the checkbox is shown here, and you can compare costs, different horizontal alignments. So all this stuff, multiple alignments and multiple vertical alignments, because this one actually has more than one vertical. All these alignments are stored in the same file. This is, there's my folder where I got it from. That's the name of the file. The terrain background is one file. The alignments is another file, and that's it. Two files to store your multiple horizontals.